You can buy gathering tools from local material vendors. There is a magnifying glass-shaped NPC icon next to the minimap. Click on it to open the nearby NPC window and click on Material. You will be instantly guided to the nearest material vendor NPC. There is a series of tools for different uses. Think what kind of gathering you want to do and buy the right tools. You'll need a lumbering axe for lumbering. Equip a lumbering axe and press R in front of a tree to obtain timber. If you cannot interact with the tree, it means it's already been lumbered by someone else. Try moving on to some other trees. For mining, you'll need a pickaxe. Equip a pickaxe and press R in front of a rock to obtain minerals. Just like trees, rocks can be used by someone else. This means you'll need to constantly look for active rocks. You'll need a fluid collector to collect various fluids. You can obtain tree sap by equipping a fluid collector, standing in front of a tree, and pressing R. All trees yield tree sap and timber, but keep in mind you'll have to choose only one from a tree. In order to obtain animal blood, kill an animal-type monster and press R in front of the carcass. Remember that you can use the same fluid collector for both trees and animals. You'll need a tanning knife for tanning. Kill an animal-type monster and press R in front of the carcass to obtain its hide. As with other types of resources, you have to choose only one resource to obtain from an animal. A butcher knife is needed for butchering. Use a butcher knife by pressing R on the animal carcass to obtain meat. As with animal blood and hide, you can still obtain the meat from an animal, even if it was killed by another player. A hoe is needed to dig up wild herbs and crops like potatoes. Though you can also perform gathering with your bare hands. Keep in mind that a hoe gives you a better chance of obtaining crops or wild herbs. You can use an empty bottle when standing next to seas or rivers. Use an empty bottle by the sea to get a bottle of seawater, or by a river to get a bottle of river water. Of course, you can also use an empty bottle by a shallow puddle or small stream. Next up is processing. Processing can be done by pressing the L key to open the processing tab. Use shaking to mix two ingredients together into something new. To take just one example, you can make dough by shaking grain flour and mineral water. Use the method called grinding to grind materials down into a powder form. You can make potato flour by grinding potatoes. Chopping is a method you can use to process timber to improve its quality. If chopping is successfully done, it can yield quality planks from timber. There is a processing called drying, which cannot be done on a rainy day as it requires sunlight in dry weather. Fresh fish usually cannot be preserved long, but if you dry the fish to produce dried fish, it can be preserved much longer. The processing known as thinning can only be done on windy days. To take just one example, you can use thinning on feathers to upgrade their quality. You can use heating on one or more items at a time to transform them into a new state. For example, heating multiple ores will yield a melted fragment. If you heat the melted fragment further, you can turn them into a form of ingot. Simple alchemy allows you to carry out a basic synthesis process anytime, anywhere. This process adds value to certain items. Simple cooking allows you to make meals using basic ingredients only. Though it may be lower in quality than meals that are cooked in residences, it's a simpler and faster way to cook ingredients.